back.
He does. Speaking of Keegan, what do you think now that the dust has settled on these extensions? And I think we talked about this last week, but you had Paolo, the number 1 pick from 2022, 5 years, $239. Chet Holmgren, number 2 pick, 5 years, $240. Jabari Smith, number 3 pick, 5 years, $122. Mm-hmm. And then Keegan, number 4 pick, 5 years, $140.
Yeah.
And then back to Shaden Sharp. He was a number 7 pick, 4 years, $90. Dyson Daniels, a number 8 pick, 4 years, $100 million. Jalen Williams, number 12 pick, 5 years, $287. Aaron Nesmith just got 2 years, $40 million. Of course, I shouldn't mention him because he's from 2020. Christian Brown got 5 years, $125. And then the other Jalen Williams, 3 years, $24. So Keegan did pretty well.
Keegan did very well.
Yeah.
Shout out to his team. And I think his team leveraged the Sacramento Kings situation appropriately. I will say, regardless of the dollar figure, if you like it or not, 1, it's not your money. 2, when we get to year 3, 4, 5 of this contract, this Kings team hopefully will look very, very different. And the money is not going to hurt you the same way that Zach LaVine's money and Domantas Sabonis' money is hurting you now. Mm-hmm. So, we can get rid of that narrative. If you think it's an overpay, yes, it is an overpay. That being said, you got it done before the season started. It's not a conversation point anymore, and I think that's a huge part of this season. Get it out the way. Yeah. Keegan's going to be here. He's a tradable asset if you really feel like you need to move on from him. But Keegan and his team are also looking around and going, yo, we can demand this even with my client hurt, because if anything, my client being hurt is showing you that you have nobody else. And you rely on Keegan so much as a defender alone. Mm-hmm. You can't afford to not have him. And you can also look back at the history of the Sacramento Kings. That position, the wing, has always been weak for the Kings. You had Rudy Gay, which was great. You had, you've had
It's the curse of Peja is what you're talking about.
For sure.
Yeah.
But sprinkled in there, you've had John Salmons, Andres Nocioni, all these names that were, it's been hard to fill that position. Mm-hmm. Keegan leveraged I say Keegan, he didn't do any of this. His camp leveraged the situation properly. And Keegan has more value to Sacramento than he has anywhere else because of the way this roster is constructed. So Keegan can thank Monty McNair for never addressing that position because it got my man paid.
Keegan Murray helps your team win. And even if this year is not as much going to be about winning as we'd like, we'll see. You definitely want him on your team going forward.
And you look at this roster and you're like, what's the future of this roster? Keegan Murray is the first thing that jumps off the page. And if you're concerned like that makes me scared, that's not Keegan's problem. That's the organization's problem, because that means they've front-loaded their roster right now in terms of older guys, which we already knew. There is no future on this roster outside of Keegan Murray, Keon Ellis, who the Kings will try and tackle that contract in February, March time.
I'm worried about him and how many minutes he's going to get here, by the way.
That's going to be a great conversation, too. That'll be a conversation for down the road. But when you talk the Sacramento Kings' future, it's Keegan Murray. And you also we talked about the X factors last time I was here, last week. Who's the X factor for the season? It's Keegan Murray. Mm-hmm. Pay him. You got it done. I'm glad you did.
Ryan Smith in the chat. Let's go LaVine and DeMar off the bench and let the young ones get some run.
Nope.
LaVine's not coming off the bench.
Never.
No.
You're paying the man $50 million, and he is the tip of your spear offensively.
Yes.
You do not succeed, period, if Zach LaVine's not your leading scorer on this team.
You need him averaging at least 26-ish a game. And I think before, I said 25. We need at least 26 a game.
You pushing it up?
Zach LaVine.
I think it's got to be 27 plus.
Let me ask you guys, because I'm not in the DeMar come off the bench group, right?
Okay.
And I totally understand why you guys are making some good points on why he should come off the bench. At this very moment, who would you guys, and I know you're going to have to shuffle, and I'm putting you guys on the spot. If DeMar's coming off the bench, then who's playing? Who's starting?
That's a phenomenal question. To me, I think it could be Neek, but that's a lot to
you guys are ready to go with a rookie over DeMar DeRozan right now?
Not right now.
Okay.
That's the thing. And
by the way, I'm still starting DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
Despite everything else I said, I'm still starting.
I'm starting DeMar DeRozan tomorrow. DeMar DeRozan's starting until, a preseason game does not give you enough to go, okay, DeMar, Hall of Famer, take a seat for the 24th overall pick to take your spot. We're not talking about, if the Kings had a top 6 pick, it's the future is now.
Yeah.
That's not where they're at.
Yeah, I get it, and I think it's a really interesting conversation, and you can make a strong argument. Right now, I'm not there, but I think it's an interesting conversation.
That's why I think it's a conversation that come up down the road. I think there is a conversation to be had, Jay, about potentially Keon Ellis, but there's obviously size issues and conversation there.
You're going like 3 guards?
If you're moving Zach to the 3, you're already playing 3 guards. You're moving Zach to the 3. Keon's playing the 2, and this is assuming Keon is shooting like he did in LA, and he's shooting over 40% again, but he's added that shot off the dribble. That's what people don't talk about. That game that he had in LA, he hit 6 threes. I think 5 of them were off the dribble. That's a great sign.
Yeah,
so
he needs to play more.
He needs to play more, for sure. So I think I would humor that idea, Jay, but not yet. Not yet.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here, Benjamin. I would bring DeRozan off the bench, start Schroeder, Westbrook, Levine, Neek, and Eubanks tomorrow. That's tomorrow, he says. Tomorrow.
Who's shooting?
Schroeder's shooting. Levine and Westbrook.
So Levine's shooting for sure, but
yeah.
Levine better shoot 45% because that lineup ain't scoring.
They're not going to get a ton of rebounds either.
If you're the Suns, pack the paint. I dare you.
Yeah. Benjamin says Keon should be playing 30 minutes per game.
Keon might earn that again if he plays the way he plays. I was a little confused. I don't know if we want to go into this conversation now, but I was a little confused by there were back-to-back games, Game 2 and Game 3 of the preseason. Keon played 8 minutes.
I know. And I think we may have talked about this, and you may have suggested it's a good point, and if it wasn't you, I apologize, but you may have said, somebody said, hey, maybe they kind of know what they have from him.
That's how I always felt. But that was me hoping.
You're right.
I was kind of trying to project that out into the universe. Like, Doug Christie knows Keon fits in. That's one of the best parts about Keon is he fits in any lineup. You know exactly what you're going to get with Keon, especially if he's shooting the basketball well. He fits with anybody. You can combo him with anybody. Malik, anybody. So I'm hoping that's the reason. But, I'm not saying turn on Doug Christie and get mad at Doug Christie the same way we were getting mad at Mike Brown. I'm huge team Mike Brown and always will be a Mike Brown fan and support Mike Brown. Mike got torn to shreds for the Keon Ellis stuff. Some of it fair, a lot of it unfair.
Even though he was the one who put him in the starting lineup.
Yes, and in Mike Brown's argument, Mike would be, I was the guy that gave I gave him the shot in the first place. That's always been Mike's argument. I've had many conversations with him about it. Mike made mistakes with that. But if we get into 3 weeks into the season and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 games where Keon only plays 8 minutes, I'm very confused because you have to, it's a hard sell for me of, I couldn't play Keon because of matchups. Huh?
Right.
You're trying to play defense. Forget the matchup. Put Keon out there.
The only thing I'll say on the negative side for Keon, and it's not a him so much as I think being fans, sometimes get carried away with, he can guard any position. No, he can't guard.
He cannot.
Like we saw that last year in Boston. And he's a good defender, and I recognize that. But let's not get carried away. Last year when they were in Boston and they tried to have him on Jaylen Brown, and he couldn't guard.
No, he guards ones and
it's like, okay, well, that's tough Simon, but he can't guard up.
He guards ones and twos, and what Keon Ellis does very, very well. His on-ball defense is great, but Keon Ellis plays passing lanes really, really well. So he's not guarding the 3. But he's picking off the 3's pass when they're trying to get it to the 2. That's where he jumps in the lane. So he's not guarding the 3, but he's making a defensive play. So he plays the passing lanes really, really well. That's one of the superpowers of Keon. There's also a risk element to it. Right. You gamble. If it doesn't pay off, now you're in rotation. Typically it was a bucket. That was the problem Mike Brown always had. You're gambling too much. But Keon, I think, has shown he's worth taking those gambles because they work out enough times for it to be valuable. But yes, he has to guard the 1s and 2s. He can't guard the 3.
If we agree that there are some pieces on this team that you want going forward, that you see as foundational pieces going forward, if Keegan's one, I think Keon's one too.
Yes.
Without question.
Keon and Keegan are the future of this team.
Yes.
And Neek, I guess. And Maxime, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's not Devin Carter. Sorry.
Giving up on Devin Carter.
Show me something to not give up on.
No, I'm with you. I mean, regardless of what you think or I think, it's pretty clear the organization is pretty much ready to move on.
The selection, and a lot of this isn't Devin's fault. There are things that Devin struggled with his rookie year in terms of his diet and work ethic and things like that we've heard about. And Doug has made sure to point out he's in way better shape now. He's also finally had a training camp. You're talking about against the 8 ball coming into the league.
So let me take up the case for Devin Carter.
Yes, sir.
And I know it's kind of a lost cause, perhaps, if the Kings have already made up their mind. But how can you give up on a guy who has had, as you say, 1 training camp, has he played enough games for you to even know what he is?
It's a great point. And you know what example I would use if I were defending your argument? I'd say, look at Davion Mitchell in Miami.
Look at Davion Mitchell in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good point, sir.
Thank you.
I don't know if I can counter that. I think it's just it's
the numbers crunch.
Yes.
Combined with the fact that the current regime inherited him.
Yes.
And they're looking for solutions to the logjam at guard.
And Monty drafted another point guard knowing full well he had plenty on this roster. And if Monty McNair were drafting Devin Carter to replace De'Aaron Fox, then that shows every reason why Monty McNair got fired. Like, that was never a good decision. And I know firsthand, because I've been told, when Devin Carter was drafted, De'Aaron Fox, another part of De'Aaron Fox was like, man, they must not want me here long-term anymore if they're bringing in another guard. That was the third guard they drafted in like 4 years. So it never made sense. It's not Devin's fault who selected him.
Yeah.
It's not Devin's fault that he had to miss time with his shoulder surgery. But, man, the league moves fast. And if you fall behind, you'll get left behind.
This is probably too convenient to be reality because I know it's not like we're trading, basketball cards here. But if you could move Devin Carter and you could get a wing, and when I say wing, I mean somebody like 6'7" or above, not another one of these, 6'5", 6'6" guys because you have so many. A wing, 6'7" or taller with some real promise and maybe kind of but there's promise there. To me, that'd be worth doing. Then I'd feel like, okay. But
are you talking about like on draft night or if you could do it right now?
If you could do it at any point here.
Well, see, I think they tried, and there's no market period. We learned that this offseason. Everybody has scared money.
Yeah.
But Devin Carter doesn't have much of a market at all. He's going to be the sweetener that you try and attach on top of a trade and go, hey, here's this lottery pick that you can mold into something. Like, that's how he's going to be moved, is he's added on maybe to Demar DeRozan to get something of value back.
In the unlikely event that he actually gets an opportunity one way or the other and shows that he's better than everyone thinks.
Sure, but I don't think that opportunity is ever going to come.
Right.
And, I mean, think back to the draft and draft night, too. Like, Dalton Connect is there. Like, there are guys that are there that you would have in your rotation.
Not a big Dalton Connect guy. I know
Sure.
Jay is. I know I'm in the minority.
There are guys there that are obvious, whether you believe in them or not. They're obvious. Their measurements alone, 6'7", 6'8" guys that you desperately needed that you did not take. Like guys that would be in the rotation right now, even with Neat Clifford here. Thanks. Sorry, bud. Like you got drafted into a position that they don't need you.
How can the Kings get through the first two games down some front court